My biggest problem is I was trying to help too many people in too many different categories. So I literally didn't know where to start. Am I helping leaders? Am I helping people with productivity? But I was so all over the place, I immediately got overwhelmed. And in a state of overwhelm, there's no way you can ever be consistent. Can't. You might be consistent for 1 to 2 days, 1 to 2 weeks, but you'll fall right back off and go back into your normal routine. Right. So if your goal is to do speaking engagements, then you want to be clear on that. So that's number one. All right, that's number one. And then we'll open up the floor for questions after this. All right, everybody write down number two. Now that we got that, number two is search for local or national events. Search for local or national events. So one of the most simplest, I'm not necessarily going to say easy, because it's not always easy to land a speaking engagement, but one of the simplest ways is to find events that are already existing and see if you could be a speaker for that event. Find an event that already exists, there's an event that's already happening. See if you can be a speaker or be maybe a main stage speaker or potentially a breakout speaker for that event. Why not? Right? See if you can speak, during the lunch period. So if an event is already happening, it's like they're already going to have speakers. So, which means that you can really approach people which we'll talk about next, but you can go to those events. But the easiest thing that I found is to find events that are already happening. Now, there is an exception to that. The only exception is you can find there are certain organizations and or places that you can go that they may not necessarily have an event, but you want to speak there. So for example, you might say, well, I want to go speak at high schools, right? Anybody want to go speak to the youth or speak at schools? Right? Sorry, I wanted to see who raised their hand. Raise your hand again if you want to speak at schools or to the youth, right? So they might not necessarily have an event. So what that looks like is the exception is going to be you must have the event in mind. And I'm actually going to write, I'll kind of write it here, right? But the exceptions is you could choose a specific school or corporation that you want to speak at, and you must have the event in mind is important. You must have the event in mind. That is important. Meaning, if I'm going to a school, what is the event that I want to have at the school? So I'm gonna give y'all an example. So I used to in VA, I've been doing events for years, but in VA, I was part of the Black Chamber of Commerce, right? This was like near when I was in like the Virginia Beach area. So this is the Chamber of Commerce, but it was the Black Chamber of Commerce. So I was there, and I was talking to. We were brainstorming what type of event that we could do, and we could present that to the school principal so we can do it at that event, just so it that they will want to do, that would be fun for the kids, and that we have an opportunity to look good, do something good for the community, right? And obviously I'm like, I need to be the host of this, right? Like if they accept this, I'm going to be the host of this event, right? So, so we brainstormed and we came up with I forgot the exact name, but essentially it was like a Shark Tank type of event, right? And it was, you got kids in the school that want to be entrepreneurs. So we said, all right, we're going to pitch this event. We're going to it's going to be an entrepreneurship event. We're going to have people from the community. We're going to have different people who are going to donate into this, into this event. And this is going to be the seed money to help them start their business. So you got some guys that want to be, let's say, make t-shirts. Okay, well, they'll get $5,000 towards their t-shirt. And I think we had like 3 levels, like $5,000, $3,000 and like $1,000, right? So we were raising all of this money, and we were like, okay, this is the event that we want to do. So we brought it to the principal, and they loved it, right? Principal loved it, and they said, listen, we would love to do this event at the school. So we did it. You know, we were getting pressed for it. You know, I hosted the event. That was pretty cool, right? And you had kids that were excited about it. You know, for kids so bright, high school, right? Photographers, videographers, they wanted to start t-shirt brands. We had folks that were starting like catering, right? So it was all of these different things, and the event turned out like amazing. We have food there, we had different things, but what was great about it is we brought the concept to the school, and it helped that it was a unique concept too. So that doesn't mean you can't, let's say if you are doing schools, that doesn't mean that you can't do like a school assembly, right? Which is cool, it could work. But if you can come up with a creative and unique concept or something that's just dope, it will make it a lot easier to present the concept to the school, and they'll be more willing to do it, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, as well, right? So, and you want to think about the economics behind that, right? In terms of, you know, how are you going to charge for that? If you're going to charge for that, what are going to be the additional benefits if you don't? So you got to kind of think about those things as well, right? But you're going to use, and you can do the same thing for corporate too. You might go and say, hey, I want to do a lunch and learn, right? They might not necessarily be having a national event where all of the employees or all hands, right? Where all the employees are going to be there and you're going to speak. You might say, I want to do this particular type of event, and I want to bring it there. A lot of times, if it is corporate, usually lunch and learns work pretty well, right? So you want to kind of look at that. So that's an exception. Generally what I want us to do is I want us to search for events. So let's not overthink it. So I'm going to show us what does that actually look like? All right, all we're going to do is we're going to go to, all I went to is Google, and then you're going to type in your category or your topic. You're going to type in conference, the year, and whatever your city is. One of the things, and this is a surprise, I didn't even know I was going to give you this, but I'm going to give y'all my template of my script, and I'm going to give you the template of just to organize how you're going to do these engagements. So remember earlier we talked about the topics. So let's say these are my topics right here, right? How to be a highly influential coach, how to do social media, attracting leads, and sales, right? So when I'm speaking, I got those in my mind of what I'm going to speak on. These are some sources that you can do. You go to eventbrite.com. This is what I was just talking to y'all about. So you would do topic, conference, in year, right? Topic, conference, year, plus city, and you will Google it. So when I did this, so let's say if I said Life Coaching Conference 2022, New York City, look what popped up, right? So what popped up was, New York City Life Coaching Conference. So I can literally say, okay, well, what is this? Is this good? I don't know. I didn't look through this. So let's see, right? Or you look for more, da-da-da. So this looked like it might be a blog. I don't know if this is a specific event, so that might not be a good one. All right, let me keep looking. Let's see, what is this? This looks like Life Institute Coaching Conference. Let's see. Open it. All right, events. January. Okay, that's one. Get Coach International Virtual Conference. That's a virtual conference. So two, you got to think about, do you want to do it in person? Do you want to do an in-person conference, or do you want to do a virtual conference? Right? So there's no right or wrong. If you want to do it a virtual, do a virtual. If you come across it and you want to do it. If you say, you know what, I want to physically be on stage and do it, then look for events that are where you're going to be on stage, right? So this one is All Texas Coaches Retreat and Conference. Okay, so this looks like one. Spring Summit, that looks like one. April 22nd. Well, these are kind of old, right? So let's look and see. May 16th, right? Just missed this one, right? But that could have been a potential one. 28th Global Mentoring, Coaching, and Supervision Conference. This one is June 1st to June 3rd. Okay, maybe I can speak one of these days. Let me look into this and see. ACTO, right? This is rolling conversation, I can go in and look, but this is just one source. So look at all of these events that they have right here. Look at all of this.